around 1 million people die from bleeding in accidents every year. We believe 30% of them could survive using a quick, easy, and effective pre-hospital treatment. We are designing a first ever super hydrophobic, non-adhesion, and fast clothing device that uses hemostatic nanomaterials. The super hydrophobic nanomaterials can be coated on many substrates, including those that are currently in use, like foams or fabrics. In practice, it will be applied just like today's normal dressings. There's no need for extra training. All materials activate key clothing pathways. This should mean that our device will start bleeding faster than dressings today. After the patient's lives have been saved and the time comes to replace bandage, its non-adhesive properties means it can be removed with less damage to the patients. Thus, reduce the chance of secondary bleeding, which is much harder to solve than the initial bleeding. We have demonstrated the characteristics of our device at Imperial Laboratories, and our next step is using in vivo tests to confirm the safety and efficacy of our device. We are seeking £1 million to complete in vivo tests and to prepare for our 510(k) application. Thank you for listening. Join us to save lives.
And again, the same format. I hope you guys are able to keep coming up with questions here. We're not quite halfway through. So.
Well, thank you very much. I mean, what do you see as your target market for these dressings?
So we are mainly focused on the traumatic wounds. So any large cuts of vessels.
So more hospital rather than a pharmacy. Is that correct?
Yeah, paramedics.
Did I understand that you were looking particularly also as brain injury as well? So head injuries?
I can see this as an extension, like further.
The Ministry of Defence and the Department of Defence, in particular the Department of Defence, have huge programs around trauma, any sort of brain trauma in theatre, and are spending an enormous amount of money in any way that they can deal with a subject as suffered from a brain trauma in theatre or any other area. Have you considered looking for non-dilutive finance and talked to the military both here in the UK or the US?
Yes, we are considering like application these to militaries. Yes.
And with your dressing, I mean, how developments of the company, so assuming that all your tests go as planned, what do you see as your optimal route to market to get these dressings setting?
So we want to firstly see the consistent results in the following in vivo tests and also in human trials.
And what about a route? What do you want to license your technology? Do you want to spin out a company to supply the market? Can you tell us a little bit more about your ambitions in that area?
Is the first, we want to get through the 510(k) application first and consider that like in later stage.
Okay, so that's doing it yourself through a company and going through a regulatory.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much.